This week, we are breaking down all the build-up to this Saturday night's main event. 3 matches on the card. And finally, we have some Royal Rumble build-up. Welcome to the Smart-Casual Wrestling Podcast. I'm Ian Christopher.
I'm Sanjay.
And I am Daniel Stockwell.
Hello and welcome. This is episode 2 of the Smart-Casual Wrestling Podcast, and let's dive straight in. We're going to start off with a chat about SmackDown, and I'm sure Daniel and we've got lots of thoughts on the show, but Sanjay, you were there live, and it was your birthday. Happy birthday. It must have been so cool. Tell us about your evening. What were your particular highlights of SmackDown?
The highlights are definitely Drew McIntyre bringing that belt home. It was a big celebration. That was one of the probably greatest opening of SmackDowns I've seen live. It was a great show indeed as well. Matches were good. I think the crowd was much more loud than you can hear it on TV.
Oh, really?
Just being there, that everyone's singing the songs and really screaming from the music. It's different because I saw it back again on Netflix the other day. I was like, let me see.
Good. I was going to ask if you'd watched it.
To see myself in there as well. So I caught myself a few times there.
So whereabouts were you sitting?
So we were on the right side of the entrance. So as the wrestlers come down, we're literally just there.
Oh my God. I'm going to have to go back and rewatch now, see if I can spot you in the crowd.
Yeah, I mean, Drew McIntyre coming in was good. And then obviously Randy Orton, Jacob Fatu. I mean, we've got a really good start for SmackDown, and then carrying on the whole night was good. First time I've seen the crowd actually not cheering for Cody Rhodes while he's in the ring cutting his segment. Everyone's like, Drew McIntyre. No one wants Cody Rhodes anymore. So I was a bit like, oh, that's a turn.
He got them on his side though.
Yeah.
Like he's got a knack for that. He brings he's able to turn you around.
I was just about to say exactly that. He's got talk them into the building energy like hardly anyone else on the roster. Yeah.
And it's not even like you think he'll be a heel now, because he knows how to just change that crowd. Like you guys are saying, doesn't mean that he has to be a heel now because the crowd is not with him.
We're in this kind of age where tweeners can thrive, can't they? But I don't know whether Cody, as you say, will turn, or whether he's in the kind of Cena phase where half the crowd are a bit sick of him and the other half are still like buying all his merch and what have you. Did you see a lot of Yeet shirts?
Surprisingly, not that much. I was actually surprised. There was a few, but it was mainly the kids with the glasses and some of the Yeet signs, but a lot of Randy Orton.
Really?
Yeah, so there's a lot of Randy Orton fans.
You went with your wife, is that right?
Right, yeah.
Yeah, she had a good time?
She did, yeah. She watches wrestling when I'm at home just a bit, but not really that into it. But this is probably the second time where she's seen the whole show, so trying to get her into it a bit more. Start checking out more shows.
What were her thoughts? So I really I loved the Leon Slater match. What were her thoughts on that match? Because that was a really fun, cool match.
She actually enjoyed it. She's saying it's not like, because when you watch it at home, it's a different feel when you're there, because you don't hear the ring announcer, the comedy.
Yeah.
It's just like the match and everybody cheering or booing. But I think the energy in that arena was different. It was just everybody was cheering and enjoying the matches, every single match.
Yeah, the great selection of matches to be
build up for the Fatal 4-Way as well. That was as we expected. Sami Zayn, and then obviously no one thought The Miz would ever win a match in this time.
No, it went longer than perhaps we thought it might.
Yeah.
I think we talked last week, didn't we, about it maybe being like a quick RKO and done.
Yeah.
But so yeah, as you say, we kind of called. I think we called all 4 of the winners of those.
Especially with the Wyatts coming up and messing up Solo, we did say that'll definitely happen.
We did, and I believe this week on SmackDown we've got a tag team championship match, haven't we, with the Wyatts and MFT. I don't know what you guys think. I think they have to pull the trigger now, right? They have to switch the belts.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, let's either way. I think I think if anything, I'd prefer to keep it on the Wyatts, just because they've had the belts long enough that there's maybe more value in beating them. I don't know, but then the MFTs feel like more of a established and bigger set of characters and names, so maybe there's more weight in beating them. They're in a weird place, and considering where they were between this time last year and SummerSlam, it was so good watching the tag team division there.
Mm.
And then it's just not clicked for the last few months.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think although I think MFT is the way to go title wise. I think it's such a shame the tag division, when we talk at length about the women's tag division being such great health, better than it's ever been arguably, and then you've got the SmackDown tag division is men's wise is it's stale at best. I think is the best way of putting it. It's better than Raw's.
Yeah, but it's strange. I mean, the Street Profits aren't there at the moment, and I think that makes sense. Why use them if you're not going to use them properly?
Right.
And then now Ciampa's left as well. Pretty deadly. He's injured as well.
So sad that I had no idea that it was that severe.
It just feels like they didn't really run singular feuds too much. Like they did a little bit, but it didn't feel like there was a nice sort of personal rivalry between, say, Motor City, and Motor City did pretty much have a feud for everyone. It's weird.
Well, everyone is the word, isn't it, Daniel? Was like, it's just everyone in there all the time, and now like we're at the polar opposites where it's just MFT and Wyatt's, and I think that the best thing they could do, honestly, especially looking at the women's division, unify the tag belts and have your tag teams run across both shows, because I think tag team wrestling is the best. Like I think it's maybe the first match type that really drew me into the kind of ebbs and flows of watching wrestling, and it's
that'll be the best time now as well. You've got the Usos already tag teams, and if MFT win, that's another little bloodline unify the belts.
That's a good point, actually. Yeah, I think what SmackDown needed was a strong, dominant force to take them titles, and I think the Wyatts should have been that. I think that was probably the idea, a big, strong force to take those titles, and then you have all these guys challenging them. You needed a bit more stability in that division.
Yeah.
I just don't think it's worked out the way they probably planned it or they hoped. So
with the Wyatts, I have such a difficult time with them, because I was a massive Bray Wyatt fan. Like I loved him. I think I felt about him the way a lot of people felt historically about like The Undertaker, just being this supernatural force, but like so captivating. And his passing was obviously so tragic. And then this Wyatt 6 story that was born from it is really touching. It's got real heart to it and real emotion attached to it. And so I feel all of that investment, and I feel that kind of like, I wish this was better than it was, but Bo Dallas just isn't, he isn't that same presence on the microphone, like in a promo. And I thought the vignette that he cut on SmackDown last week came across like, it's kind of like Bray Wyatt karaoke, where he's hitting some of the same notes, but there was just something missing there for me, which I think it was a worthwhile experiment, but for me, I think call it a day and move on somehow. I know it's so hard when you're dealing with such a tragedy, though, isn't it? How did it come across in the building, Sanjay? The Wyatts seemed to still be pretty popular.
It was. I mean, everyone's got their torches out and just pretty much cheering. So it's just like you said. It's just everyone misses Bray. That Wyatt was something else. Just seeing them, I think it just makes people think, there's still some sort of shades to Bray Wyatt. There's still some, love you can show and stuff. So, but like you said, I'm really not buying the new Wyatt 6 myself. I'm not really a fan of him at all. No.
I do like that Solo has the lantern. I do like that they're actually without being too gross about it and too gratuitous with linking it back to him, just mentioning, just saying him and his legacy and that sort of thing. I think that has some weight to it. But yeah, I think for me, switch the titles, get some more tag teams involved, do something, and then. But let's talk Drew McIntyre. You mentioned it right at the top there, Sanjay. That entrance from one extreme of like, this is really quite sad, this is tinged with a lot of sadness with the Wyatt stuff, to I was so thrilled for Drew McIntyre that he got like all of the pomp, all of the bagpipes, all of the pyro, because it just felt like this is everything you didn't get when you had your last big title moment.
That was right. Yeah. Just seeing it live was amazing. The amount of pyro they used. Normally it's Cody Rhodes, he takes all the pyro, so instead he's taking his pyro.
Yeah, they had some surplus pyro budget.
Crazy. It was like everyone was cheering for Drew McIntyre. Normally you get some people who don't really, feel like he should be the belt, but it just seemed like everybody was for him.
And like the perfect time to switch it, the perfect time to have him come out as champion for the first time in a UK crowd, if not a Scottish crowd. And the move to 3 hours, I think, is perfect for that sort of thing, because they were able to just give it ages. And I didn't at any point think, all right, come on, Drew, like, wrap it up. I just, soaked it in.
I think we touched on it last week where we said, why are they doing the match in Berlin? Why not in London? And it's there next week. And it was just like, I think when I was watching it, I went, it kind of makes sense now, because now you've got this big ceremony, which I actually think is probably better than him having the match.
Yeah, I think I agree.
Oh, it's lovely. Just to touch on another Brit that was on the show, how was the response in the arena to Kit Wilson?
It didn't start off as loud as a pop you think, but as the match was going, people were actually cheering a lot. Like, they enjoyed it, the match. They enjoyed the match itself. So I guess some people who weren't really aware of who he is, I think they became fans after watching him that night.
I thought it was quite fun, actually. It was, I'm becoming quite fond of Kit Wilson. So.
Same. I think that when they first started having him do this toxic thing, just in backstage skits with, was it Damian Priest that he kept on like getting thrown through walls by? Like, I didn't care so much for that, but they seem to have tweaked the presentation of it ever so slightly. The theme song's great. Like, the moment of him hitting Cardona, pausing, and then back to the music. Like, I thought that was wonderful. Yeah, really, really funny stuff.
I wonder if he's booked his place in the Rumble.
Absolutely.
Because, like, I feel like you need them sort of characters, and like I'm watching him going, and now that he's interacting with Cardona, Fatu, I'm thinking, oh, actually, he might be in the Rumble now. Like, I think the toxic thing's great, because I think he could do something with that in the Rumble. Like, could you imagine he gets in the Rumble with Lesnar and go, "You're toxic"?
I was just like envisioning exactly that, but I think in my head it was like Lesnar and Fatu and Cody, like all these really alpha guys, and he's one of those spots where he's just surrounded by them, but doesn't get the danger he's in and just wants to lecture them about being toxic.
That'd be quite funny.
Yeah. But even saying that before, because Trick Williams was there, then I think everyone's become a fan of Trick Williams now. Mm-hmm. He's literally got that very loud pop there.
Here's a question for you being there live, because there's an element of when he first debuted that you never know, when there's that rhythmic kind of chant, how much is being piped in, how much is organic. Was like everyone chanting along with that trick?
Everyone was whooping that trick with him, so it was very loud.
Awesome, man. We mentioned Jacob Fatu a couple of times there. I think that's probably a good place for us to just touch on slightly. He obviously had a busy night coming out, called out Cody, who had already, I think, previously said that he had a receipt coming. And then Cody and Jacob have this pull-apart brawl. This kind of leads us quite nicely onto our first bit of SNME previewing, we might as well start with the match that has now been made, Cody Rhodes versus Jacob Fatu.
I think the feed was really weird. I imagine it was actually better live because watching the Netflix feed of it, I was like, why the hell are they cutting away when it's like right at the heart of the. That was really strange.
They went to a commercial, didn't they? Like just as they were beginning to pull them apart.
What are you doing? This should
Mm.
be like. I had really high hopes once they started going at it for like a classic all-time brawl. And then I was just left going, oh, like you've got Cody Rhodes and Jacob Fatu, and you know that they're more than capable of able to do like a proper good pull apart. And I'm not going to remember it at all, I don't think. If anything, I'm going to remember it for being a bit pants. I'm really happy with the match being announced, and I think this weekend, I think they're going to have a great match. I hope it's not just a one and done scenario, but I feel like it might just be like a taster until there's something further down the line. Yeah, I think it'd be a really good match. I think it's a really clever match to make for Cody coming off of the back of his championship run. Like you need something to keep people engaged with Cody, and I think it's really smart to go, oh, Cody, he's back against Fatu. We do winners at the end. I'll get to hear what your thoughts are, and then we'll predict our winners.
I think you're right. Cody, now he's dropped the title, is arguably more interesting than he's been for months. And I'm a Cody guy. I really liked him as champion, but there's now a freedom there creatively, and especially where, Sanjay, you described the crowd. It was the first time you'd kind of heard real mixed responses. And now he's going against Jacob Fatu, who's going to be in his first match back. He has huge potential to be a big-time babyface, as we touched on in last week's show. I think this could be a really interesting match for the crowd's reaction to who becomes the heel, who becomes the babyface. And we kind of had a week of that with Finn and Punk, for example, which I'm sure we'll touch on. But I think the biggest thing for me with Cody and Fatu is that I thought it was really interesting that Drew, when he bumped into Ilya Dragunov backstage, and threatened Dragunov, and he said, I didn't knock Fatu's teeth out, but I'll damn sure knock yours out. And I started rubbing my hands together thinking my Cody plan is still alive, that maybe it was Cody that took Fatu out.
So I got a different take on it, right? I saw something online as well, a picture of when Jacob came, and Randy Orton's face was a bit like, oh shit, maybe he finds out I was the one that hit Jacob, because he was also the one chasing the title. I'm thinking if that's the case, then that would be pretty cool to get Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton finally in a match.
Mm-hmm.
They could play around with that. They've got a lot to do with Randy Orton being there present for each time. So if he's the main event, so I don't think he's going to win, to be honest. I think it will be Sami Zayn, the fatal four-way match. And I think somehow they're just going to try and connect Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton after the Jacob Fatu, when he finds out Randy Orton was behind it. I just feel like it's probably the best time to bring that feud now, because there's no belt involved, and it'll be a great rivalry for both of them together. But the brawls, I think the brawl was cut a bit short. I think they could have done a little bit more with it.
Was it cut short live? Did they get them pulled apart very quickly after? Because we obviously had it just cut to commercial. I think as one of them was pulling the other out of the ring, and then it just suddenly...
It wasn't like how you normally get on brawls. There's a bit, they keep going for each other, and then they tear them apart, then they go back and try and really, tear each other down. But it just felt like it was so quick. Just done. It's just everyone came out and divided them and kind of left it like that.
I think that was a mistake. Jacob Fatu has this reckless, and we were saying the word reckless last week, has this sort of reckless energy, this real unpredictable danger about him. And I think, if anything, having a really big brawl could have really just sort of helped tell the audience who this character is. This is the sort of person, if you get in a fight with him, he will go tooth and nail to make you bleed. And I think if they'd done it, it probably would have made Cody look a lot better. The boos would have dwindled. I feel like people would have gone, it's similar to people have booed Charlotte in the past, and then she's got into brawls, and then suddenly by the end of it, they're going, no, Charlotte's amazing. I suppose the classic one is her beating the hell out of Ronda Rousey.
The brawls I think of, like, when I think pull-apart brawls, there was the build-up to the three-way, wasn't there, with Becky, and there was a police car and the smashed window, and also weirdly, I remember Undertaker and Lesnar. I can't really remember many Undertaker-Lesnar matches, but I can remember the pull-aparts because, my God, it was like the locker room emptied.
Didn't Lesnar and Goldberg have a really good one as well?
It was John Cena and Brock Lesnar.
John Cena had a
when
good
he
one.
first came back, and he said, I forgot to say thank you, and he slaps him in the face, and then the whole locker room just came out. That's when John Cena actually was busted open as well.
But this is it. Like we all have these pull-apart brawls embedded in our minds, and as you say, Daniel, like that seems like a missed opportunity. And I mean, we might sit here next week and go, "Wow, I'm glad they saved it for the match because what a match!" It has that potential. But right now, it's just like, oh, they left so much out there.
Strangely, when I think of pull-aparts, the one I'm really thinking about is Charlotte. Like, she's had some amazing pull-aparts with Becky. She's had a couple of really good ones with Rhea. And she had a pretty good one with Tiffy a lot as well. There you go. She is the queen of the pull-apart.
The queen of the pull-apart. Wow.
Sounds a bit suspect, but
let's not pull at that thread. Let's move swiftly on. You said, Daniel, you wanted to talk winners very, very briefly. I think for me, I say, it's a tricky one. Cody wins. I don't really have a reason why. I'll pass over to you guys.
I think it's probably going to be a no contest. I don't think they want to beat either of them. And then who did you predict, Sanjay, for the four-way?
So I think Sami Zayn would probably win that one.
Sami. I think Sami makes the most sense. And that's what we were saying last week about it being in Saudi. Yeah. And then it's women's tag, isn't it?
We've got 3 matches on the card. The four-way we've just kind of previewed. I think all of us are in agreement that it's Sami's to win. Who takes the pin? Do you think it's Trick just because he's new? Or I kind of think Damian Priest. I think Sami Zayn beats Damian Priest. But he feels like expendable, should we say, in that match.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Sanjay.
I think Priest and Trick Wills, they'll probably have something going on. I think they will be probably having a few fights as well, back and forward.
They've got a singles match, I think.
They do. On
SmackDown Friday, beforehand. Yeah, which is great.
And I think the women, I think it's too soon to take the titles off Rhea and Io. So, yeah.
I think it's an interesting feud. I think Liv and Roxanne are great together. I think it's another one that you could have put that on a big pay-per-view card. You could have put it on even Mania if they'd have got that far with it. But yeah, I definitely think it's too soon. I'm not going to say Rio. I can't do it, except with derision in my voice. I think Rhea and Io retain. But we maybe get a tease of what Liv was talking about on Raw. She mentioned in her promo, Rhea always betrays her partner. She can't not betray her partner. Watch out, it's going to be you. So I wonder if there's just the slightest tease in that direction.
I said last week I thought it would be more of a mutual sort of separation at some point.
Right.
And then when I saw that, I kind of went, now I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's just to sort of add some intrigue to the Rumble. Like, will she eliminate her tag partner? Because, she's got a history of eliminating or eradicating her tag partners. I'm still not convinced she'll turn heel. I think they make too much money with Rhea to turn her heel.
It's a shame because I think story-wise, she would be the natural heel in that dynamic. I could see them main eventing WrestleMania with Rhea versus Io. I think it's that good. I think there's that much chemistry there. You know, you look at the triple threat they had last year with Bianca, which was my match of the year.
Yeah.
The singles match Rhea and Io had before Naomi cashed in, I thought was another outstanding matchup. I don't know if you can tell another respectful babyface versus babyface story with those two, though. I think there has to be some animosity to it, but I don't know how you get that without trying to turn one of them heel. And I just think, as you say, they make too much money with Rhea, but I also think she's so beloved by the fans. Her music gets such a pop. It would be a really difficult thing to see how that goes.
I don't think there'll be some heel turning or something, but if there is, then I think Io Sky could be, because part of the Kabuki Warriors, it could be some sort of connection where they try and turn her against Rhea, and everyone thinks Rhea's going to be the one who turns, but could be Io. Because they've got the same thing going on with Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. Everyone's saying Charlotte's going to be the one to turn on Friend, but nothing's happened there as well yet.
It could even just be something as simple as, I don't think they're going to do a draft anytime soon, but like do a draft, do a trade, separate them for a couple of years.
Yeah.
And then
Best way.
that's probably the easiest way of doing it.
I'm sure we will have plenty of Rhea Io women's tag talk generally, because that division is so hot. But I think we've kind of covered everything as far as Saturday night's main event goes. A couple of moments from Raw, that one of which goes sort of into the Royal Rumble, that being Gunther and AJ Styles. We talked at length last week about Gunther's tap out and how much we all really loved that match, really loved the finish. And now they've immediately raised the stakes with Gunther saying, yeah, I'll give you your rematch, AJ, but you have to retire if I beat you. You have to put your career on the line. And they're doing it straight away at the Rumble.
I'm a big AJ Styles fan and Gunther. I like both of them, but I know we know AJ Styles will be retiring soon, but I just think they need to use him at least WrestleMania. So I hope that's not his retirement plan already done, in a week's time. I hope there's probably that going to be a much bigger feud, because they had a good match. It was such a great match. Everyone loved the match, and the way it ended, everyone loved the style of Gunther being, cheeky, the heel that he is. And I think this time it should be AJ Styles win. Gunther gets pissed off. He goes after him again. They have one final match, WrestleMania. If they want to call it retirement match, then put it on the line again.
When I was watching it, I was in two minds about it. I was like, oh, cool. I couldn't believe that they were going back to it so soon, but adding such stakes early on. Then God, Jesus, what are they doing? Part of me straight away thought, well, they're not really building it that much. Maybe, AJ's going to win and they'll have a third match down the line. And now I'm not too sure. I saw something the other day that really made me question it, that this Rumble's like the 10-year anniversary of AJ's debut.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe, when do you pick a good time? And maybe it's just, hey, I had 10 great years. That is a decade run, and that was a really good run. And maybe you don't need all the, to use the words you used earlier, the pomp and circumstance of big retirement runs, and next time I lose, I'm retiring. Maybe it is just, all right, well, you put your career on the line, let's do it. Boom, get beaten. Bam, that's the end of AJ Styles. Honestly, I would not be surprised, because we never knew when AJ was going to retire. I think people know that AJ's retiring this year, but there's been no inclination as to when. And for it to be like, well, yeah, it's the Rumble, which is, oh, hey, next week. You're like, oh, damn. Like, it's a complete 180 from what you just had with Cena, which is this big, epic storyline that's expanded the entirety of the year.
Mm-hmm.
And then with AJ, you've had like hints at it through the Cena match and hints at it through the tag run. And then Gunther's alluded to it. But then really it's just, you're like, okay, we've probably got a little bit more time. He's going to have WrestleMania. He's going to do this probably. And then you're just kind of like, oh, wait, this really could just be over next week.
Mm.
And is there anyone that I need to see AJ against?
Chris Jericho. His
Well,
return
they
in the
could
Rumble.
they could have a nice little face off, couldn't they? And it'd be a chance for them to
Yeah.
avenge what I think that was AJ's first Mania match, wasn't it? And it was quite anticlimactic, which you could maybe say for AJ's WrestleMania matches in general.
But then also, like, Gunther's, the way they present Gunther is he's very much respectful of the industry. You could have him beat AJ, and then Gunther turns around and says, out of respect for you and your career, your last match is WrestleMania. Choose your opponent wisely. I don't think that would be too out of character for someone like Gunther to do that to AJ Styles, but I'm more inclined to say that maybe this is just the end of AJ. I don't know.
I think it's great that we don't know. I think that's really great because it's as you said, Daniel, it's kind of the 180 to what we've had for the last year with Cena, which was so drawn out and so pretty laboured at points, but we always knew that date in December was it. Like, it's like a guy leaving a party being like, I'm going now, I'm going now, and then like an hour later he's still there, I'm going now. Whereas this is, AJ could go at any moment.
It's kind of like, you think of the big names, and, you're going to put AJ right up there with the big names in wrestling sort of legacy and history. And I feel that it's not just Cena. Like, Cena's had this big year long. Sting had a big, epic storyline before he retired in AEW. Flair had a storyline that went for months. Taker's was weird and just kept getting protracted and
weird is the
prolonged,
word, right?
But it was over time really long. And Shawn Michaels is another great example. It was one match that did it, but they were building to that match for pretty much the better part of a year.
Wasn't it? Because it was from one Taker loss to the next that he just kind of.
So, to have your career's on the line and you've got that thrown up in the air, and then the match and potentially a retirement all within the space of 2 weeks is completely unheard of for these legends of the industry. Maybe that's how he does differentiate himself, which AJ always does.
The Royal Rumble bookends are certainly very intriguing, as you say, with it being 10 years almost to the day. If that is the case, I wish it wasn't in Saudi, but that's a whole other long conversation that we don't need to open that can of worms now.
Maybe that adds to it as well. I want one final big payday, and it better be good.
Get me to Saudi one more time. I don't know. I could see. I could see what you're saying, and I think it's great that we have that much jeopardy in when are they going to pull the trigger on this retirement. I do, though, think that we'll maybe preview this more properly next week, but maybe AJ gets one back and AJ pulls the wool over Gunther's eyes in some way so that it isn't a clean win over Gunther, but it's, you fucked with me, now here's some back, and I've now managed to fool the referee or something, and then they go one more time, let's say at WrestleMania, and then, maybe then he calls it a day. Any other Raw thoughts? We did have another world title match, CM Punk versus Finn Balor.
Great match.
Amazing match.
I love Finn Balor.
Actually, one point I thought Finn Balor was going to win. I thought, what if they just do something? Say, look, it's his hometown. Let's just give the belt to him.
I think that's what the Drew title switch has done as well, is it's given this sense of like it could happen, because I think we were all wanting Drew to win, but also feeling like, oh, probably not on TV, and now it's given it this whole new life. Were you guys as delighted as I was that he had his old theme tune back? And we had no, because I think Finn Balor's maybe been the biggest victim of Death Rebel.
Didn't we discuss that last week?
We possibly did.
I think we did, didn't we? It's like, it's just that new music. Even, is it last Raw when he come out to challenge
when
Punk?
He came out to talk to Punk, it was like, who's this? Oh, it's Finn Balor.
There was the one last year in the Rumble. I was watching it with someone, and his music played, and we're like, who the f- is this? you know, it's like awful. I hope he goes back permanently.
Me too. I was only saying to my wife when we watched him come out, as you say, to challenge Punk, like, I kind of chanted to her about Def Rebel and was like, Finn Balor used to have amazing music, and they keep on teasing it. There was part of his new music that had a tease of the arms going back, and he would never do it. And I was like, you should see his proper music. So this week I was able to be like, here it is, look, here he goes. So yeah, I was so pleased to see sort of a real Finn Balor back, who's been maybe missing for quite some time.
I think with the crowd reaction as well, it felt like the Balor that we were watching in NXT.
Right.
He just felt so fun. He makes you like. I remember watching this little clip that WWE released, and it was people talking about why he's special. It always stuck with me. It was a guy probably not too dissimilar in age to ourselves. And he was just sort of said, he makes me feel like a kid again. When I watch Finn Balor, it's like he makes me remember why I'm a fan. And I just feel like over time, it's lost it a bit. And it was so nice to get that again. And just in the space of one night with a good crowd, an amazing match, and some banging music.
Yeah.
It's just, he's made me remember why I loved Finn Balor to start with. I'm really big fan.
Yeah, what an amazing match. It was something that you would think you see in WrestleMania or SummerSlam, one of the biggest, pay-per-views main event. It was that great of a match. And definitely Finn Balor come back as music. Kind of reminds me when Sheamus went back to his old music as well. He did it for like a week or something. It was kind of like bringing back the old memories like this as well. When he was on his peak, it was pretty cool.
Too many lines.
Yeah.
What is it? Lobster head? It's a shameful thing. Lobster head. Yeah. I loved the match too. I thought it was so nice to see him back. Kind of gave me hope because Finn Balor's got to be getting on a bit in age as well. I know he was maybe much younger when he first came over than someone like AJ. But I think it's fair to say Finn Balor's closer to the end of his career than he is the start. And it just kind of made me think there's still life there. And maybe now is finally the time to say, okay, Judgment Day, you've had a great run at times. And now maybe it's time to let the pieces of the Judgment Day go in their separate directions. And then we can have Finn Balor, the singles guy, back. Because I just, there's so much still there. Seeing the music again made me think of the Demon again. And I loved that presentation, apart from when it got a bit weird and a bit silly at times towards the end, the last couple of times we saw the Demon perhaps. But yeah, talking, Daniel, about like remembering why you've kind of fell in love with Finn Balor in the first place. Like, I remember the first time I ever saw the Demon come out, and it was just like 10-year-old me inside looking at it going, that's so cool. That is just cool.
I read an interview with him recently, actually. I think it might have been, I don't know, just prior to the Wembley event. And he was asked about, why the Demon's not there. And he said something interesting about how he used to love donning it like war paint. But then I think this was particularly under Vince. He always wanted a reason, like a contrite reason to be the Demon. And it was almost like, that's a real shame because it was such a unique aspect of his character. I do remember early on, it was just, they made it this sort of cheesy caricature, that was going in. You can't beat Bray Wyatt unless you're the Demon. You can't beat Kane unless you're the Demon because these guys are supernatural. I think going back to the original way in which you were using it, donning it like war paint, I think it's so much better. I hope to see it again, but the impression I got from the interview I read with him was that he doesn't wish to revive it.
Well, it kind of makes sense. I seem to remember there being a few times where he was starting to make these really weird noises of just like, and
Wasn't
was
there a
just
weird one where it was like the Demon and Sister Abigail?
that
Yeah,
was
that was
right,
a
and
weird
that was
match.
only we were only spared that match because of there was some outbreak of something where suddenly Bray was out and Roman was out of a
Yeah.
pay-per-view, and they gave us. Didn't AJ come back for that? And they gave us a really great match, like just randomly on a pay-per-view. I'll have to look that up. TLC pay-per-view in 2017, so that's maybe a little bit earlier than Bray Wyatt's leaving.
Yeah.
In fact, I think was this before The Fiend? This was
The Fiend.
before Firefly Funhouse and everything.
Oh, yeah, it would have been, yeah.
So this is like in the dark days towards the end of Bray's pre-Firefly Funhouse run. Anyway, those were the days. Any other thoughts, guys, on Raw or anything else that we haven't covered from the week that was?
I was going to say, I'd like to say that Becky Lynch's got the belt still because Maxxine Dupree, I just hope she just disappears in thin air and then we'll never see her again.
Disappears into thin air. She does a Bray Wyatt and just poof.
Awful.
God.
It's just awful to watch. It's so cringe. It's just,
I really want to not like Natalya, and I do. As a wrestler, I really like watching her matches. And I've never been able to figure out what it is about her that I could never fully invest in. For a long time, I just thought it was because she was too smiley all the time. Even when she's a heel and supposed to be mean, she's too smiley. And I was watching the attack afterwards and thinking, no, I think I've figured it out. I think it's because you're always mugging for the camera. There's just this weird sort of like, I suppose if anyone's in America listening, it's that sort of pick me. I don't know. It's an English person would say you're mugging for the camera.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I got that. It's like, you've just beat her up. And I liked the attack. I thought the attack looked really good, looked vicious. It was fun. But then you stand up over her and you're like, just mugging.
Gurning away, yeah.
I'm just like, what are you doing? Get on with it.
I think the big thing that I found, apart from the match just being another, I wouldn't necessarily go as far as saying it was a complete dud, but it's not great. But the turn, like, I get why they were doing the turn, but we haven't seen Natalya and Maxxine on screen together, apart from the weird dungeon vignettes. Natalya hasn't been coming out with Maxxine in the quote-unquote good times, not good matches, good times. Like, and if they had have been having her come out as the manager, even just for 3 or 4 weeks, it would have given this turn a bit more energy, a bit more like there was more of a bond there to be broken, whereas this was just, oh, okay, she's suddenly here. I wonder if she'll turn this week. Do you know what I mean? Like, it just felt really odd. The whole thing with Natalya's felt odd, though, because when Maxxine won the title and she was saying, oh, I've had a secret trainer and whatever, it was AJ Lee, storyline-wise, that was training her, wasn't it? Because she came out and cost Becky the match. And then AJ Lee disappears, and now she's in Natalya's dungeon for 3 weeks. I don't know. I find it quite hard to care about anything with Maxxine Natalya going forward. But
kind of goes back to what I was saying about Maxxine being a SmackDown girl. I feel like I wouldn't mind it as much if this was on SmackDown. There's no way this should be taking any screen time away from 75% of the Raw roster. And that's no disrespect to Natalya. I do like Natalya. I've always tried to like Natalya as well. And I do actually quite enjoy Maxxine.
Really?
She's good fun. Not in the ring, but I think there's a quality that I can find. She's fun.
She's all right backstage with like Tozawa just joking around.
Yeah, but she doesn't have to be like. I'm not expecting her to be, Kenny Omega. It's like she is what she is, and I feel like she plays her role well. I just don't feel like either of them warrant my attention as much as any of the Freed Up Judgment Day girls, Lyra, Bailey, Becky, God, the list goes on, Stephanie, it's like, whereas you could probably go, yeah, what else am I going to see? Another B-Fab and Michin feud, or this Natalia and Maxxine feud? Cool, let's go with that.
Yeah, I think you said she plays the role well or something of that kind of lighter backstage, and I think you're absolutely right. And I think the issue here isn't actually on Maxxine, so to speak. It's on the booking, it's on the creative that is trying to force her into this role that she is not experienced enough for. She is not a comfortable fit in this workhorse intercontinental title picture.
I really liked the first match with Becky. It was a real surprise, and you sort of went, "Oh, cool! That was a really fun little match." And then I think they exposed it a little bit too much.
Absolutely.
And I think it probably would have worked out better in the long run if Becky just come out the second week and battered her.
Yeah,
but
totally agree.
I also think it's been a nice little mini feud. Because outside of, a few of the matches, I have actually thought it's been really interesting, and really good fun. And it's a great little feud for like that lull period between November and January. One of my big issues with certain people is that they don't have enough feuds that you can sink your teeth into. Look at Jade. Jade's a great example.
Absolutely brilliant shout.
I think at least with Becky, you're going to finish this IC run. And she's had really, really good feud with Lyra, which also incorporated Bailey. You can circle back on Bailey as well. You've had a really good long-standing feud with AJ Lee. And then you've also had a really good sort of lower-level feud with Maxxine. The matches weren't great. It was still good fun. And I'm really hoping Becky has a little run and potentially even one match with Jessica Carr.
I can't believe they've dropped that. I thought that was really, really good stuff.
I was looking at things I think it was War Games. It was War Games. It was Jessica Carr who did Becky count or tap?
She tapped, didn't she? She tapped to AJ Lee.
Jessica Carr who called it. And I was like, I really hope Becky comes out and just keeps going into Jessica some more. I'm just waiting for more of it. And, between the Lyra and AJ stuff, I think filling it with things like Jessica and Maxxine is perfectly fine. I've enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would.
Well, we'll see what's next for both Maxxine Talia and Becky Lynch soon, I am sure. Anyway, I think that about wraps up everything we've got to talk about news-wise and match-wise. Last week, Daniel, you were victorious in the quiz against Sanjay, and we said then that winner stays on. And loser, Sanjay, sorry, I don't want to call you a loser just on episode 2, but we said that you would come up with some questions for us this week. Are you in possession of some questions for us?
Yeah, so because it's Royal Rumble season, so I've got a quiz for you guys.
Awesome.
I've got the list here in front of me, so as you guys give the names and I can see if you guys are right or if you're just making it up. So the quiz is, name every single person in the Royal Rumble who has an entry number 30. So you guys keep giving names until one of you says.
Wow, that's a great question. I didn't think you were going there. Who's starting? Daniel's the reigning champion. Maybe he should.
Defend your belt.
Duke the Dumpster Drosy.
Wow, that's a deep pull for question.
That's a really good one.
Jesus. He is laying down his marker here.
I don't know why, but that one, I always remember that one as the number 30.
Man, I feel on the ropes now. I'm going to pull one from a much more recent Rumble, and I think it was dreadful, if memory serves. Brock Lesnar. Did he lose the title earlier in the night and then came out at 30?
He did come out at 30, that's right.
Undertaker.
My lord. I'm now feeling the pressure that you guys were feeling last week, and I don't like it. Was Rey Mysterio a really disappointing number 30?
Rey Mysterio, that's right.
Oh,
That was the year that Daniel Bryan didn't come
yeah,
out.
that's exactly what I was thinking.
Best number 30 of all time, John Cena.
Yeah. I was thinking that would be the first one, so remember? You're coming 30 and everyone's like, what?
I don't know why my brain seems to be stuck on disappointing Rumble moments, but here's another one maybe. Dolph Ziggler, was he a number 30?
Ziggler, that's right.
Nia Jax.
Yeah. Replacing our favorite R-Truth. Funny.
Oh God, I'm feeling it now. Roman Reigns is a total guess, and I don't even think it's right.
It is right.
It is. Wow. Okay. There was no knowledge there at all. That was literally plucking a name out of my arse.
Triple H.
Right.
He was the other one I had in my head as a pull it out of the bag. Oh man. 30.
I guess you're going to be winning this one, don't you?
I think so. I'm The Rock.
The Rock is not one of them.
I was on the ropes for a long time there.
I'm glad you said The Rock. I'm glad you said The Rock, because that was actually going to be my next guess.
Oh, really?
I had this, I don't know why, I had this feeling that there was this thing of The Rock winning something and then being number 30. Maybe it was someone like Jericho or Big Show.
Maybe we have in our minds that it's going to happen next weekend. The Rock's coming out number 30 to win the whole thing. Yeah.
So you got in the list Logan Paul, Cody Rhodes, Sami Zayn, Braun Strowman, Seth Rollins, Chris Jericho, Ryback, Kane, Batista, Mr. Perfect.
Batista.
You got Randy Savage. You got Chyna, X-Pac, Booker T, Ric Flair, Goldberg, Big Show. I think you did say Big Show. Yeah, quite a lot. Quite a big list.
Awesome. Wow.
Someone's got to beat Daniel. Guess that'll be me next week then.
Yeah, so I'm the official loser of this week's quiz, which means...
Just like the mighty Arsenal, I remain on top.
This time. Well, next week, obviously, on Smart-Casual Podcast, we are going to be going full-blown Royal Rumble mode. I imagine most of our chat is going to be around maybe favourite Royal Rumble moments from the past, certainly on previewing what's ahead in Saudi Arabia. And, oh yes, there will be more Royal Rumble quizzing. So thank you so much for joining us for episode 2 of the Smart-Casual Podcast. Thank you, Daniel.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sanjay.
Thank you.
And a huge thank you guys for listening, and we will see you next time.